Hi there, I'm Arlene Inouye, UTLA Secretary, and I'm here with Daniel Barnhart, our UTLA Secondary Vice President, and we're here to tell you about voting line procedures. Come and join us. We're here again to share with you about the process because it's a little bit different this time. It's for when you're on the picket line for how to vote on the tentative agreement. So first of all, make sure that at your school site you have a packet and a summary of the tentative agreement and a copy of the tentative agreement as well, which we'll also have online and all of our social media sites. So first of all, we want you to have a school site meeting and to go over that tentative agreement, to be able to ask questions, to be able to have a discussion, to see if you want to vote yes or no. So that's the first step.
And then aren't we going to have an area meeting where our chapter chairs and chapter leaders can come together and bring those questions and get answers and clarification?
Yes, your chapter leaders will have come from an area meeting that morning and will bring the envelope and will bring the discussion that we had. So they'll be able to answer a lot of these questions that you'll be having about the tentative agreement. So let's get right on to the voting.
So what's the first thing we do?
First of all, you will have in your packet a membership roster and an instruction sheet that will lead you through the process. Step one is conducting the vote.
So I've got this membership roster, and
that's right, that's the ballot that says yes or no on the tentative agreement, whether you approve or disapprove.
So I'll go through this list, and everybody who's a member on this list, I'm going to give them one of these, right? And I see there's a place here for a signature. Do I have to get them to sign, or do I, as the chapter chair or the chapter chair's helper, sign an initial for people?
They can, either way, they can sign it, but if you know that they're a member of your chapter and they forget or something, you can initial it.
Well, what about people who are not on this list? What do I do with them?
There's going to be a lot of them, Dan. You're right. And it says on the roster about reaching out to itinerant members and substitutes who will not be on the roster. So who are itinerants? And again, these are UTLA members, our nurses, our secondary counselors, our PSA counselors, PSW counselors, psychologists, and we have many therapists like speech and language and OTPT, we have audiologists. The list goes on and on because we have so many members that are health and human service professionals. So be sure to find them and reach out to them and make sure that they're able to vote as well. And then we have substitute teachers who are a part of our school community. Make sure they get a ballot because we want them, every single UTLA member, to vote.
So I'm going to give everybody who's not on the roster a simplified challenge ballot and an envelope like this. The same thing, the challenge ballot envelope and the regular ballot. We're going to put them together and I'm going to collect them, right?
Exactly. Be sure you write on that envelope the information of your name, your school, your employee number, and then sign it and drop the ballot right in there.
What about people who I'm not sure whether they're a member or not, but they've been out there with us? For example, there's a teacher who just started this week and has been striking with us as well. How do they get to vote?
Yes, we want every single member to vote. So if you're not sure if they're a member, make sure you give them a membership card. We will have them in the packet as well. And we want you to talk to your members who might be on leave or just for any reason they are not with you on the picket line. Let them know that there is this vote on the tentative agreement. There's an important count that we need to do, right, Dan? It's called your UTLA tentative agreement vote count, where we want you to together open up the ballots from the envelope and count all the yeses, all the noes, and the number of the simplified challenge ballots. So just the number.
I get it. UTLA wants us to count all of our own people at our own site. And we'll put down yes, no, and the Do you want us to open the challenge ballots at our site?
No, you do not open the challenge ballots because they have to be verified. So we want you to just keep them sealed and bring them back to UTLA in the envelope. But we want all of our members there to witness this important count and to sign your name to this piece of paper.
Oh, I get it. Like, my brother had a Quaker wedding, and the way we made sure it was official was to make sure that all the people who were there signed a document that said that they witnessed that happened, and that's how we knew they were married. This is how we're going to know that this was the vote count for our site, because everybody can witness it. Do we have to get everybody to sign it?
Oh, no, Dan, we don't. Only if you want to sign it, but we'd love to have as many names down there as possible.
So I get it. We'll count all of these and we'll put that. We got the signatures. Do we just throw it back in the envelope and send it back to UTLA?
Well, there's something you need to do before that, Dan, that's very, very important. We need to report those results on our phone app.
So in the packet, I see there's instructions on how to report your results online through the Strike app you've been using on your phone. That is so important. We need to get that result as soon as you're done so that we know that night whether or not our members overall are voting yes or no, and whether or not we need to be on strike again the next day.
Exactly. It's our preliminary vote count to get an idea whether you'll be going back to work the next day, and we know that's a very important question. So it's important that you get the number to us on the Strike app of your phone.
So once I've reported it, I'll put it in. And then what do I do with this whole packet?
The whole packet goes to the reverse drop sites on this green piece of paper. Every area has at least one place where you could drop it off between the hours of 4 and 6 p.m. And we will have an official vote count with the paper ballots in addition to the preliminary vote count that we got on the phone app. But we will announce the vote, the preliminary vote, that night later in the evening, so you will know whether to come back to school or not. Those are your easy steps. Let me review it. Step 1, conducting the vote. Step 2, the simplified challenge ballot voting and how to do that. Step 3, reporting your site results. 4, collecting the ballots. And 5, returning it to the designated drop sites. 5-step for this easy voting. We got it, Dan?
I got it, Arlene. When we fight, we win.